pleasure to turn to Jeremy Sharon, the Jerusalem Post Diaspora Affairs correspondent, for a conversation with Pnina Tamno-Shata, Israel's Minister of Aliyah and Integration.
Good evening, Minister Tamno-Shata. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Jeremy, and thanks to all the people that are watching us today.
Right now is a critical time for Aliyah during the COVID-19 pandemic. There is a massive increase in potential number of people who want to immigrate to the State of Israel. How are you and the ministry preparing for that influx of new olim, and what are you doing to ensure that as many new immigrants as possible end up coming here?
As the Minister of Immigration and Absorption, in this day I build with my office a national program for the next 5 years, because we see the opportunity that brings the COVID. It is very important to us to motivate the Jewish community around the world to come to Israel. This is their home, and we believe that we can jump with the numbers. We see in 2019, we accepted and we absorbed more than 35,000 new immigrants to Israel. So now we build a national program. It is a long-term program. In one hand, we will focus to motivate it in the origin countries. And in the other hand, my goal, in one hand, it is to motivate it with our representative around the world, the Jewish communities, to come home, to come back to Israel. In the other hand, to accept the new immigrant here in Israel and to give them the tools to acclimate it better and to feel that they are in home.
So how important is Aliyah to the Jewish state, and how important is it to you as an immigrant yourself?
Aliyah, it is the most important pillar to the Israeli state, and not only Israeli state, for the Jewish people around the world, and also to the Israeli society. I was a child when I came to here, and I believe that each of us has a story about Aliyah. This country established and built by Aliyah. Every Aliyah enriched the Israeli society, and this is why also in that time and now in the time that we are dealing with the COVID, the sky is open. The sky of Israel will be open in the bad time and in the good time for the Jewish people around the world, because this is our vision. This is the home of all the Jewish people around the world. And as a Minister of Immigration and Absorption, it is very important to me to call to everyone that wants to make Aliyah and to tell them that our doors is open, and we are here to help each person that want to come to Israel and to build here their life.
What are your major goals while serving as Minister for Aliyah and Absorption?
My first goal is to build a national program, a national 5 years plan program, holistic program that accept all the new immigrants and will give them all the service to improve our service in my office. And not only in my office, I believe that the central of this society, our society as an Israeli, is the new immigrant. And it is not easier to be immigrant. I know that for myself and for my family. And it is important to me to give all the tools to children and to adults that come to here and that they will feel that they are at home. I don't want to see that new immigrants leave Israel only because there are difficulties. And I know that we can do that better. The second goal is not forget that there is thousands of people from my community that waited in Ethiopia, in the camps of Ethiopia. We need to bring them. Some of them wait more than 10 and 20 years. And I believe that I know how to solve this problem and to bring them home.
Given the difficulties with international flights and doing bureaucracy, how difficult will it be to bring thousands of new olim, thousands of new immigrants to Israel in the months ahead during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Since March until now, we brought more than 7,000 new immigrants because it is very important to us. I believe that we will never close our sky. This is our mission, and even we spoke about that in the cabinet, in the table of government. We try to find all the tools to motivate it now, even the crisis of a pandemic, to motivate the communities to come to Israel. And in some cases, we even send aeroplanes.
Minister Tamano-Shata, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Good morning and Mazal Tov to all the new Olim. Today we celebrate our 60th NBN Aliyah flight.
We welcome this morning 242 Olim from 23 U.S. states who have remarkably come home. Shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu l'zman hazeh. Today we celebrate the joy. We celebrate your homeland. We celebrate you coming home. We celebrate your resolve and your determination and your values and this historic, majestic moment. Mazal Tov.
We are happy to observe each one of you. You choose to say that the state of Israel is your home no matter where you lived in the past.
This week, we celebrate 90 years to the existence of the Sochnut, and there could not have been a better gift than seeing this wonderful hall with so many Olim.
When we say V'shavu banim legvulam, this is what we pray for. You are returning home, and all Israelis welcome you to the state of Israel.
אתם מצטרפים לצה"ל, שהוא הצבא היחידי ששומר על עם ישראל, הצבא המוסרי ביותר בעולם. גם אם אתם נקראים חיילים בודדים, אתם לא בודדים. כולנו איתכם תמיד.
You're just beginning the journey for the rest of your lives. You'll build Israel, you'll build your lives with your family, your friends. You'll make new acquaintances. You're going to have an amazing life here. Welcome and welcome and welcome.
And now back to Steve Lindy, the Jerusalem Report's editor, for a conversation with Rabbi Yoshua Fass, the co-founder and executive director of Nefesh B'Nefesh.
Welcome to Rabbi Yoshua Fass from Nefesh B'Nefesh. I'm guessing that this has been the strangest year you've had since co-founding the organization in 2002.
Absolutely, Steve. Without question, without a doubt.
How have you been coping during this coronavirus pandemic?
Well, first we started working remotely, and then all of a sudden an incredible wave of Aliyah interest started to hit. The numbers are staggering, numbers that we've never seen in the last 18 years that I've been involved in this incredible work. The numbers show that there is a spiking Aliyah interest that the state of Israel has never seen since its establishment. And I think we will reap the benefits of this Aliyah interest next year in 2021.
So you've registered the highest number of Aliyah applications, meaning people who are interested or have shown interest in coming to Israel. Can you share with us some of the numbers and from which countries?
Sure. Let's just talk about North America. I can't speak about other countries, but let's talk about North America and UK. Last year, let's just take June as a part of a comparison. Last year, 370 families submitted their applications in June. This year, in the same time period, 1,200 families submitted their application. Last year, in the same period in June, 530 families started the process. This year, 2,000 started the process. I'll give you the last staggering statistic. Last year, in the first 3 weeks of June, 5,000 individuals, 5,000 households reached out to our Aliyah hotline. This year, close to 24,000 households reached out to our hotline in the first 3.5 weeks of June. There is an incredible interest. Most of it is an outcome of coronavirus that has really calibrated the compass of many individuals, many Zionists, many individuals who always thought and dreamt about moving to Israel.
How has coronavirus changed the way you operate?
Well, it's challenging because most of the American-Israeli infrastructure is still under the wave and shadow of Corona. We have consulates and embassies and State Departments all coming out of phase 1 to phase 2. So there is a slower processing. That means we have an increased interest of individuals who want to move and a slower processing at the same time. So we're trying to keep people's expectations in check and trying to keep individuals a concept of hope and that we are fighting for them and advocating and trying to create out-of-box solutions for them.
What is your best advice to individuals and families who want to make Aliyah? Where should they start?
They should get their documentation, reach out to us just to start the process. You download the application by us on our website, and then start collecting all the data that's necessary. Some of the documentation that's needed needs notarization, needs apostilles, and it's going to take a little longer than usual because of all the infrastructure being affected by Corona. And reach out to the Jewish Agency to get your interview by Zoom, and then we'll move you along the process to book you on your flight, all along with our case managers creating a viable Aliyah plan for you so you have a successful integrative experience once you arrive in Israel.
This has been the first year that Nefesh B'Nefesh hasn't held its annual ceremony for the Sylvan Adams Prize for Outstanding English-Speaking Immigrants. How do you see this prize ceremony taking place from now on?
Well, from now on, hopefully this is just an episodic event, and we hope to plan on doing the Sylvan Adams Boneit Zion Prize ceremony soon. We're just waiting for some lifting of restrictions, even though today it sounds like we're going back with regulations. There are a lot of firsts this year. There's a first time that we're not having a charter flight and a charter flight welcoming ceremony. We've had 60 charter flights. It's the first summer since 2002 that we haven't had 1,500 people welcome a plane load of Olim. And it's difficult. We're trying to create that experience, that celebration, that festivity for the Oleg coming, and it's very sterile. They come from a plane, they get processed quickly by the Ministry of Interior, and they come out to the taxis, and they're on their way to quarantine for 2 weeks. So we're trying to create some touch points of interactions to make sure that they're feeling a sense of celebration in this experience. But it's challenging, Steve.
Well, you talk about celebration, and you talked earlier about hope. In a way, you've been a real visionary in realizing this dream of Nefesh B'Nefesh. You've brought more than 60,000 immigrants to Israel over the years. What are your plans for the future, and are you hopeful?
I'm very hopeful. I would say that there's horizontal and vertical articulated growth. I want to expand our services to those who are making Aliyah. I want to expand national projects and try to be a catalyst of change within different areas and spheres within Israel's interests, using a lot of the Olim their ingenuity, their professionalism, their creativity to effectuate that change, and also to have some sense of horizontal articulated growth of expanding to perhaps many other countries as well, so that we can offer other Olim the same service that we're given and the same opportunities that are here in Israel for them.
Would you say that your Olim, as you call them, new immigrants, have changed the face of Israel, and in what way?
We can go through enterprise by enterprise. Since we started at Nefesh in 2002, over 650 physicians have moved to Israel under our auspices. That means every clinic, every terem, every hospital has a Nefesh B'Nefesh, has a North American physician working, which is changing the landscape. And especially if there's going to be an impending health shortage with physician shortage, this is one possible solution for medical servicing could be affected and changed for the Israeli society. We're seeing it with high-tech, an influx of high-tech professionals. We're seeing it with educators. We're seeing it with lone soldiers. There's definitely a change. Even the periphery, since we started before 2002, I would say even before 2008, you can count on your hand the number of Americans that moved to north and south, to the periphery. Since we started a project with the JNF and Kakal, over 9,000 North Americans have moved to the north and south of Israel. And that is obviously a game changer for what's happening with growth, with housing, with professionalism, and opportunities, both in the periphery and north and south of Israel. So yes, I think in every sphere, the dynamic changes is definitely becoming affected and impacted by the North American Olim that are arriving.
Rabbi Fass, what is your direct message to Jerusalem Post viewers all over the world watching this broadcast?
Direct message that I think through Corona, we've learned many things. First of all, that Israel is not a given. We always, for the last 70 years, thought that Israel as an option, Israel as a homeland, it was a given. We can always get on a plane and we can come here. I think over the last 3-4 months, when there is a travel ban, I think it recalibrated our compass. It allowed us to prioritize, allowed us to take time and pause to assess and evaluate where we are and our trajectory of growth and our connection, our visceral connection to our homeland. And for any Jerusalem Post listener and reader, if you are thinking about Aliyah, if you're thinking about Israel as your future and your destiny, not just a destination, we are here to help and we are here to support you at every step of the way.
Rabbi Yoshua Fass, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Steve.